Stories, I'm a fool for your love.
So this is a stock IS300 with auto angle kit. There it is. So you'll see the before and after. We'll check that out once it's installed. Alright, so to do this install, all you'll really need is 14mm, 17mm, 18 and 19mm wrench. You'll need a 17mm deep socket as well as a 19. These are all 1/2 inch. 19mm deep socket. Here's another 19 just in case, and a 21 to break off, lug nuts or whatnot. You also need a 10mm Allen key, bam, for our hardware set right here, and a hammer to bang everything off. So all we're gonna do is we're gonna take off A, B, C, and D. Let's turn this wheel. Take off this tie rod. This is a 17mm wrench. Ta-da. And then just keep it loose. And then we'll go down to the bottom with a 19. So now that the two are loosened, all we're going to do is we're going to take a hammer and hit this point. We're going to try to shock this and separate the two. So in order to separate the tie rod from the knuckle, OEM knuckle, you're going to have to loosen this up as much as you can, so that way you can hit it with a hammer and shock it loose rather than using like a pickle fork, that's what they call it, and getting grease all over the place. There you go. Yay! That's done. So we're going to do the same thing down here, except where you're going to hit at this corner, right in here. So we're going to loosen this, try not to hit the ball joint, and you're going to hit this really hard. Alright, go ahead, just check and then lift it up. There you go. So there it is, it's loose. Now we're just going to loosen the tie rod, or maybe it's a 19. Loosen it. So now it's loose, there you go. Just a quick reminder, you want to keep this this nut on the tie rod on, so that way we can actually break loose these two bolts on the spindle. So we're just going to go ahead and break those two bolts off. And then after you take off these two bolts, you're just going to take this nut back off for the tie rod end and get hit in the face by it. There you go. I would highly recommend taking the sensor off. Just do it as a precaution. It could rip off. Ta-da! And it's off, so now we can't break any more stuff. Cool. So now all we're gonna do is literally take these two bolts off. Go ahead and rip those two bolts off. Now we have a knuckle and a spindle separated. So what you could do, if you want to keep your ball joints, you don't want to replace it, all you have to do is cut this off. Like, that's it. Cut and minimal grinding. So you don't even have to take this off the car. But buddy over here got OEM ball joints and he wants to replace them. So we're gonna cut these, or throw these away and cut the new ones. So we're gonna use quote unquote OEM, and we're just gonna ruin the OEM by cutting it. Yay! So that's what we're gonna do now. Now you can't return it. Alright, let's go grind it. Alright, so now we're just gonna grind this this knuckle. Grind, bruh. That's how it should look when you're done. Just like almost like this side. Okay, so we just painted this a little bit with primer. Usually we'll use black, but I didn't bring black, so we have primer. There it is. Cool, so we pretty much finished up. We cut this ball joint right there, ma'am, and we pretty much bolted it up. So all you're pretty much doing is taking the cut ball joint and these hardwares and placing it in here. So you want to make sure that the spacing the clearance is good. There's no gap in between the knuckle and ball joint, and that's pretty much it. You're good. So you're just gonna lightly put these the hardware on, the provided hardware, which are these two nuts and bolts on, so that when we put it on the car, it's not like jumping all around. All you're gonna do is take this spindle, push it to the side, push the tie rod over. There's two ways you can do this. One way is you can put this ball joint on to the lower control arm and then slide it on, or put the knuckle on, like that. The sleeves will sit in here. Take the hardware, drop it on the floor. And then you're just going to torque it down with this. I'm just kidding. Don't ever do this. So, I'm not going to tighten it yet. I'm just going to put these two in and then actually put the ball joint onto the lower control arm. Ta-da! Alright, so now that we have this knuckle installed, we got the ball joint into the lower control arm. We're just going to remove the old tie rod end. Just simply, like earlier, we already loosened this nut, so now we're just spinning this off. If it's good, you know, this is still pretty good-ish. It's good-ish, so you don't have to spend more money on that. Let's take it off completely. So, of course, when you do this angle kit, you're going to have to get another alignment. We're going to do an eyeball and then drive over to an alignment shop to get that done. Put this back on and the tie rod on, and we're good to go. Pretty much you're just going to take the nut and put it back on the stud, as well as these 4 hardware pieces. We're just going to torque down these 2 bolts, the OEM ones, to 85 pounds. Alright, I broke Calvin's car. Just kidding. Real quick reminder, when you're tightening these 2 bolts down, don't tighten one first. Make sure both is tightened down pretty good, hand tight with like a ratchet, and then go ahead and torque both sides. Because what you want to do is you want to have both clearance in between these 2 points, right here and here. You want to have both bolts centered before you go and tighten it down. So both of them are centered. We're good to go. 85 pounds here, and now we're going to do these 2 here, 85 pounds as well. Alright, so make sure the key's out of the ignition so we can lock the steering rack. Now we're just going to tighten these 2 bolts. So before, the 2 OEM ones, those are 17 millimeters. These 2 are going to be 19, so we're just going to go ahead and tighten this. So the top's going to be a 10 millimeter Allen key. And now we're going to have to tighten these 2 bolts and our nuts, and we'll be pretty much done with this side. Now we're just going to tighten the tie rod in right here with a 19 millimeter short. You can put a cotter pin if you want. As you can see, it's like all the way up there, so I don't think you need it, but if you want it, cool. Should be good enough. There you go, cotter pin. So that's pretty much it. That finishes up this side. We just got to do the other side now. Just put this ABS sensor back on. This will probably rip off at full lock. Just a FYI. Alright, well this is pretty much the install. We did the right side. This is not full lock because his wheel's actually hitting that arm right there. It's hitting that arm, the rim and the arm. It's So you can't even reach full lock with the kit right now. He's gonna have to run like a 25 mil spacer since these wheels are 18 by 9.5 plus 22. So here's stock, and here's easy knuckles. Yay! Cool.
You said we had it all, that shit would drive me crazy. Cause outside is no feelings, baby. You say it's hard to tell what I've been thinking lately, but behind closed doors, I'm a fool for your love. You said we had it all, that shit would drive me crazy. Cause outside is no feelings, baby. You say it's hard to tell what I've been thinking lately, but behind closed doors, I'm a fool for your love. But behind closed doors, I'm a fool for your love. Chicago's waiting for job offers on the table, and she tells all her friends that's why they think we're stable. But I got plans of my own, but better with no label. And I'm loving the way that you move to my vibe and you dance to my songs. But I feel like it's about to be me who goes off into something so wrong. No, I take it for granted. Do I be breaking your heart so I vanish? Soon as you walk out that door, I panic. See, I'm never gonna understand it. You said we had it all, that shit would drive me crazy. Cause outside is no feelings, baby. You say it's hard to tell what I've been thinking lately, but behind closed doors, I'm a fool for your love. You said we had it all, that shit would drive me crazy. Cause outside is no feelings, baby. You say it's hard to tell what I've been thinking lately, but behind closed doors, I'm a fool for your love. But behind closed doors, I'm a fool for your love.